tomorrow to you, Mr. and Mrs. Queen City. This is your news of yesterday, today. Dateline, Friday, January 26, 1923, from the pages of the Regina Morning Leader newspaper. Headline: Germany grows sullen and resistance is stiffening. All the elements usually cited as contributory causes of open war exist in the Ruhr Valley. The German population, their hatred inflamed by the arresting conviction of industrial leaders, have carried out demonstrations of a violent nature at various centers in the Ruhr, and the occupying French and Belgian forces have placed their machine guns at strategic positions. Monsieur Letroc, French Minister of Public Works, is on the spot, and military measures of a sterner nature are threatened if the recalcitrant spirit of the Germans continues. Declares Letroc, France is here to stay until she gets complete satisfaction from Germany. And that's your moment in dramatic irony for January 26. Update: record number packs stadium for crowning of Miss Regina. Merriment is rife on closing night of Regina Winter Carnival. Premier impersonates Archbishop at ceremony. 8,000 people packed into the stadium to witness the coronation of Miss Pearl Miller as Miss Regina. The Winter Carnival closed in a blaze of glory. Never in the history of this city has such enthusiasm and genuine enjoyment characterized an event of this kind. At times, the swelling applause and merriment fairly lifted the roof from the city's hockey palace. Miss Regina wore a green velvet costume trimmed with white fur, the rich royal robe made especially for the coronation. She was attended by pages Johnny Mitchell and Peter Lay. Premier Charles A. Dunning, as chief of the provincial government, was called upon to place an ornate golden circlet upon Miss Regina's fair head. And before the Premier's hands had dropped again to his sides, she was adjusting the tiara with little pats and pokes, as women will. Ad break! Don't be ink indifferent. Demand Carter's fountain pen ink, made in Canada. Women's Interests, Society and Fashion page. Have you heard, ladies? Mr. and Mrs. H.E. New of Moose Jaw spent yesterday in the Queen City. R.R. Gibson of Regina was a visitor in Brandon recently. Mr. and Mrs. A.C. Froome of 2639 McCallum Avenue left yesterday for Vancouver. We hope that no ne'er-do-wells will read this and note that 2639 McCallum Avenue will be unattended for some time. Mrs. H.G. Hurley of 1143 Retallick Street was hostess of a tea given Monday under the auspices of the Ray Street Ladies' Aid. For the pleasure of Miss Lois Van Egmond, her mother last night entertained 20 little guests at dinner, later taking the merry party to the carnival at the stadium for an hour, or two. And now, advice from Dorothy Dix. Says Dorothy Dix, girls who understand money make less expensive wives. A woman banker urges every father to make his girls an allowance and see that they live within it, because that is the only possible way of instilling a sense of financial responsibility and thrift in the youthful feminine mind. Husbands of young ladies find that matrimony these days is 10 times as expensive a luxury and complain of the high cost of living and loving. There are tears and bickering, all of which could have been prevented if the young wife had been taught how to manage her end of the matrimonial partnership. Do you think you are giving any young man a fair deal by making him pay for your daughter's education on how to handle money? Consider that, father. And that was your news of yesterday, today, from the January 26, 1923 Regina Morning Leader, and read to you by the Queen City Improvement Bureau. Now, forward to the future.